Eye Opener for April 8th, 2026. Inflation makes the case for Bitcoin. With the war on Iran, Earth should understand the impacts that the economy has on everyone. While some countries will suffer more than others, all countries will still suffer to some degree. So let's look past the immediate economic impact that America and Israel's war against Iran will have on energy costs around the globe, and consider certain aspects of that impact. One of which is the attempt to transition from the petrodollar to alternative means of settlement for oil. In the case of the war in Iran, this change is from the petrodollar to the petro-yuan, as that is the currency that Iran has chosen to accept payment for safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. And though Iran has chosen the yuan, this does not mean that the rest of the world will choose that currency as a replacement for the US dollar, especially those countries considered to be Western nations, including the United States. Can you imagine America's leadership permitting China's currency as the means of settlement for goods and resources? At least not until its adoption becomes a foregone conclusion. For that matter, what currency would American leadership accept as the replacement fiat for the dollar? Do you think the President of the United States would willingly accept the euro, the franc, the Deutschmark, or the British pound as the world's reserve currency? I don't. I think that there will need to be some intermediate, if not permanent, replacement for the dollar. I think that whether temporary or permanent, the only means of settlement that the world will accept unanimously will be either gold or some other precious metal, or Bitcoin. And if one has been paying attention, one has noticed that countries around the world have been accumulating gold as well as Bitcoin. In the case of gold, it's obvious why that commodity is trusted. It has been trusted for thousands of years. People know the value that gold has. It is, after all, a limited resource to a certain extent. It does not degrade over time, so it maintains its value throughout the ages. The problems with gold, however, are the ability for one to store such a treasure and transport such a treasure as a means to settle trades made between nations. Gold is heavy, and it occupies physical space, and it requires massive amounts of security to ensure that it is delivered from point A to point B. And this is where Bitcoin outshines gold. While the king of cryptocurrencies retains its value like gold and resists inflation like gold, it is easily stored on the smallest of devices and can be transmitted securely over the internet. Settlement for trades can occur in minutes as opposed to days. And then there is inflation to consider. With the cost of energy rising, the price of everything else will increase as the war in Iran continues. That is because most currencies around the planet are what are known as fiat currencies. Fiat means by decree, which translates into creating more currency out of thin air. In the United States, this has led to the devaluation of the dollar by 95% over its lifetime. While that had a greatly negative impact on Americans during the Great Depression and other economic downturns, it was nothing compared to the inflation that other countries faced in economically hard times. In one country, employees had to run home with their earnings at lunchtime so their spouse could get to the store before prices went up by the time their workday was finished. Imagine that. Inflation was occurring so fast that what one could purchase before lunch had become too expensive by the time one's workday ended. This is why money like Bitcoin will serve to not only keep pace, but exceed inflation in every country on planet Earth. Because there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins created, the value of Bitcoin can only go up over the long term. Of course, that is as long as the world sees the value in a commodity that the entire planet can trust. As for my disclaimer as to whether Bitcoin will be permanent or temporary, I included it because one can never predict the future accurately 100% of the time, not even Nostradamus. But currently, there does not appear to be a currency from any country that every country can trust for settlement as much as gold and Bitcoin. And as far as the dip that Bitcoin's price has experienced over the past few months, such things have occurred throughout its history. Prior to Bitcoin reaching an all-time high of approximately $120,000, it had reached an all-time high of approximately $50,000, then retreated back to $30,000, then skyrocketed up to $126,000. And if one is paying attention, they will have noticed that someone has been manipulating the price of Bitcoin for it to dip so dramatically. And someone has been buying up the Bitcoin that others are selling during this dip. The only people that can cause the price of Bitcoin to dip so dramatically and maintain its value above $60,000 per Bitcoin are the ultra wealthy. So ask yourself, why would the wealthy be buying Bitcoin? Then ask yourself why the wealthy have bought up everything else of value, including housing, stocks, and everything that makes one wealthy in the modern world. Or watch them extract the latest means for one to attain, maintain, and increase one's wealth. Your choice. For solutions to the biggest issues we all face today, pick up your copy of Chris Osman's book, Solutions. Enough complaining, let's fix America at Amazon.com. And for more videos like this and those that ask the questions that need to be asked, search for Surreal News on Rumble.com or check out the YouTube channel by Chris Osman. Just search CHRIS space OSSMAN with the term Daily Eye Openers and find out why there are more and more conspiracies and fewer conspiracy theories in the world today. And while you're there, please like the videos and subscribe to the YouTube channel so Chris can continue posting these truths.